Coming to you on March 2nd of 2024, the anniversary of the Texas declaring its independence from Mexico and the drafting of that Declaration of Independence, I wanted to explore a little bit the weeks and months going up to that date and how the government was kind of shaping itself up to that point in Texas. It all started with a consultation that grew out of a proposed meeting of Texas representatives to confer on the pre-revolutionary quarrel with Mexico. This idea was first advocated by opponents of revolution in the early summer of 1835 in Mina municipality. Moderate and radical elements endorsed the concept to present a united front. A meeting in Columbia on August 15th first used the term consultation, perhaps to avoid the revolutionary connotations that the word convention implied in Mexican politics. There was no complete agreement on the power of this body. Some treated it as sovereign, but others insisted that the gathering was to investigate, counsel, and recommend to the people, and denied that it could assume legislative or constitutional functions. Though originally set for October 15th, the consultation was delayed until November 1st, by the eruption of military hostilities earlier in the month, at the insistence of delegates select and Army officers. Enough of the delegates gathered on November 1st to begin deliberations, but no actual quorum existed until the 4th. They chose Branch T. Archer to preside. He urged the members to disregard previous factional divisions and concentrate on what was the best course for Texas. Although he favored independence, he voted with the majority, who favored a return to the Mexican Federal Constitution of 1824. On October 16, 31 members assembled at San Felipe and recognized the legitimacy of a permanent council for a 2-week period. The council consisted of the Committee of Safety of San Felipe and representatives from other communities, including Richard Royal of Matagorda, Joseph Bryan of Liberty, and 2 men who answered Stephen F. Austin's request to come to San Felipe to be part of the interim government. Royal was its president, and Charles B. Stewart was its secretary. The consultation was not completely representative of all of Texas. No delegates served from the war zone districts of Behar, Goliad, Refugio, Victoria, or San Patricio, and less than half of those elected attended from Belleville, Mina, and Matagorda. Only 58 of the 98 credentialed delegates attended the consultation. During its brief existence, the Permanent Council commissioned privateers, set up a postal system, ordered the land offices closed, and surveying discontinued. It authorized Thomas McKinney to go to the United States and borrow $100,000 and appealed to the citizens of the United States for men, money, and supplies. A journal of the council was kept from October 11th through October 26th, and the group was active until October 31st of 1835. On November 7th, the consultation by a vote of 33 to 14 endorsed the establishment of a provisional government upon the principles of the Constitution of 1824. Yet, at the same time, the delegates declared that Santa Anna had already dissolved the social compact and that Texas had the right to declare its independence. On November 12th, the consultation appointed Sam Houston, Major General of the Texas Army. Archer joined Stephen F. Austin and William Wharton as commissioners to the United States, sent to lobby for financial assistance, collect supplies, and recruit men for the Texas cause. The 3 arrived in New Orleans in January of 1836 and negotiated a series of loans that totaled $250,000. Then they proceeded up the Mississippi River, making numerous speeches before turning east for Washington, D.C. The 3 commissioners were unable to persuade Congress to support their cause and returned home. During the intervening weeks between adjourning the consultation on November 14, 1835, and the opening of the Convention of 1836 on March 1st, Texas was governed after a fashion by the provisional government, which operated under a document written by the consultation and known as the Organic Law. Under organic law, the delegates abolished Mexican political titles and positions such as a political chief. It established an executive along with a general council made up of a representative from each municipality chosen by his delegation to assist the governor. Henry Smith, a leader of the Independence or War Party and an opponent of the Declaration of November 7, 1835, was made governor. James Robinson, also of the Independence Party, was lieutenant governor. Most of the members of the legislative body, the General Council, were from the Peace Party, which was opposed to an immediate declaration of independence and inclined to quarrel with Smith and oppose his plans. As a result of the various controversies, the governor made an attempt to dissolve the council, which retaliated by impeaching Smith and recognizing Robinson as head of state. For all practical purposes, this provisional government then ceased to exist, and Texas was without leadership during the critical month of February 1836. The government failed because the men responsible for it lost sight of the welfare of Texas in their personal quarrels. The short-sighted consultation placed the government in the hands of incompetent officials with opposing views and deprived Texas of the services of its blessed men, among them Stephen F. Austin, William Wharton, and Branch Archer, who were sent as commissioners to the United States, and Sam Houston, who was made commander-in-chief of a non-existent army. On March 1, 1836, 44 delegates from the 17 Mexican municipalities of Texas and the settlement of Pecan Point met at Washington-on-the-Brazos to consider independence from Mexico. The convention met in near freezing weather in an unfinished building belonging to Noah Byars and Peter Mercer, his business partner. George Childress presented a resolution calling for independence, and the chairman of the convention appointed Childress to head a committee of 5 to draft a Declaration of Independence. In the early morning hours of March 2nd, the 59 delegates voted unanimously to accept the resolution and signed the document creating the Republic of Texas. The Convention of 1836 declared independence and framed the Constitution of the Republic of Texas, but the advance of the Mexican Army made immediate ratification and establishment of a constitutional government impossible. This temporary government, without any legislative or judicial departments, fled with the people in the runaway scrape and was located successfully at Washington-on-the-Brazos, Harrisburg, Galveston Island, Velasco, and Columbia. Nevertheless, it continued to function until regular elections could be held and the Constitution ratified. The last act of the convention was the selection of an ad interim government with David Burnett president. The ad interim government of Texas operated from March 16th to October 22nd, 1836. David Burnett was against independence for Texas in 1835, although he deplored the tendency of the national government toward a dictatorship. Thus, his more radical neighbors did not choose him as a delegate to either the consultation or the convention of 1836, but he attended the session on March 10th anyway. The delegates who were opposed to electing one of their number president of the new republic elected Burnett by a majority of 7 votes. Lorenzo de Zavala was elected vice president, Sam P. Carson, Secretary of State, Bailey Hardiman, Secretary of Treasury, Thomas Rusk, Secretary of War, Robert Potter, Secretary of the Navy, and David Thomas, Attorney General. One of its major concerns was controlling the Revolutionary Army and dealing with low supplies and morale. It was also in place when the 2 treaties of Velasco were signed. The ad interim government ended with the inauguration of Sam Houston as President of Texas on October 22, 1836.